Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little hair bow. This is known as the Mylena hair bow, and these ones are a mini version because I use a 1-inch wide ribbon. I say 1 inch, they are actually 22mm, this one, 22mm wide ribbon, and this one was 25mm wide. So just to show you that it works with around 22 to 25mm wide, it doesn't matter. You can still cut the same length of ribbon and it will work for both of those widths. If you want to use a 40mm wide or 1.5 inch wide ribbon, you will need to cut your ribbon longer. I will do another tutorial for the larger one another day. So for this bow, I'm using my Fiskars fabric scissors. I've got a double pronged hair clip because these are the ones that I just prefer. You can stick your bow on a headband, an elastic, a toothed clip, whatever you prefer. I've got a couple of pieces of 1 centimetre wide ribbon cut to 11 centimetres in length. One is to wrap my clip because that is optional, it's just something that I like to do. And the other one is to wrap my centre. I've got a lighter to heat seal the ends of my ribbon. I've got some fabric clips at hand. You can use hair clips if you don't have fabric clips. And I've got this cute little holly embellishment to go with my holly print ribbon. And of course I've got my 8 pieces of ribbon, and of course I've got my needle with strong thread and a knot in the end, and I'm just going to set that aside. So the ribbon I've got cut here already, 8 pieces in total, 4 in this pattern and 4 in the plain. If you're just using a plain ribbon like this, you will only need the 4, but because I'm using a patterned ribbon, I like to double line it, and it just gives that little pop of colour coming out the side. But if you do all one colour, this bow does look nice all in one colour as well, so you can do that, and obviously it uses a lot less ribbon because you will only need the 4 pieces. Make sure that your 2 ribbon choices are the same width, and mine is 25mm wide or 1 inch wide, and I've cut all 8 pieces to 13 centimetres in length or just over 5 inches in length. I have already heat sealed the ends of my ribbon, but I will just show you on this one, because this one I left. As you can see, it's got a few frays, so using a lighter, just go along that end and it will get rid of the frays, and it will also prevent any further fraying. You will need to do that on all of the raw edges of your ribbon. And then next we're going to just set these aside, leaving 1 of each piece, and you want to layer the ribbon, the pattern on top of the plain, and then I'm going to have my red facing towards me and my pattern facing away from me. It depends on what piece you want showing. So on this one I had my glitter ribbon as the underneath colour and my pattern on the top. So whichever colour you want underneath, in my case it's going to be the red like this one, I'll have that facing towards me. And then you want to fold the bottom end, making sure they keep in line, folding it up, leaving 1 centimetre overlap. So 1 centimetre overlap, and then what we're going to do is grab this corner, just these top 2 layers, and we're going to bring this down to meet this bottom corner. So you're bringing this corner down diagonal to meet the bottom. So grabbing those 2 layers, bringing them down and overlapping the corner, grabbing one of my fabric clips, I'm going to clip that on there in place. And next we're going to grab the top left corner again and fold it down diagonal towards the right, and this time we're going to leave around 8mm overlap here. So this piece here, 8mm overlap, and lining all of the pieces up at the bottom, so making sure they all keep in line. Line them up at the bottom, and I'm just going to pop a clip on there and then grab my tape measure so I can measure to make sure that we have 8mm overlap which we have. I'm quite good at doing this by eye now because I've made a few of these. So that is our first piece done. And then we're going to do the same with another 2 pieces. And this time we're going to fold these 2 slightly different. So again, having my red facing toward me. And in the same way, we're going to fold the bottom up, leaving a 1 centimetre overlap. I'm just going to use my board because these are 1 centimetre squares, so 1 centimetre overlap here. And on this one, we brought this corner down to the right. This time we're going to grab this right corner and bring it down toward the left to overlap this bottom left. So the top right corner down to the bottom left corner. So we're doing it in the same way, but we're just mirroring the way we fold it. Again, grabbing the clip to hold that corner in place. And then again, grabbing the top right corner and bringing it down diagonally toward the left, leaving that 8mm overlap, lining them up along the bottom and popping a clip on there to hold it in place. Yep, 8mm. So we've got these 2 pieces now made, but as you can see, they are mirrored. And now with our last 4 pieces, we're going to repeat those exact steps again, so we have 4 pieces all together. So this is what you should end up with: 4 pieces, 2 facing one way and 2 facing the other. And then what we're going to do now is pop the 2 pieces together. So I'm just going to set these 2 aside. So I've got my 2 pieces with my folds going in towards the middle, and I'm going to lay one on top of the other. So if I just grab this one as an example, as you can see, I have mine going up toward the top. So that will go this way, and this top layer folding round, curving up towards the top. So this will be the way my bow will go. So I'm going to line these up now. So you want to line up this pattern one with this bottom pattern one, so it's dead in the middle and all lined up at the bottom. And then I'm just going to remove these clips. I'm keeping it pinched with my other hand together so I don't lose the shape whilst I remove the clips and re-clip them in place. So that is them now lined up, ready. So as I said, that is going to be this side of the bow, like this one. Grabbing my next 2 pieces, this time I'm going to layer this right one on the top. So on this one, I layered the left one on the top. On this one, I'm going to layer the right one on the top, and that will give us the symmetrical look. If you don't want it symmetrical, you can do it exactly the same as this one and layer the left on top of the right. And I'll just show you what kind of effect you'll get. You won't see it properly because obviously I haven't sewn it. But then you'll get this sort of swirly effect. So they're not symmetrical, they're actually different ways. So the top piece is coming around to the bottom, and on this one the top piece is going around to the top. So it's up to you what look you want to go for. I'm going to continue like I did with these 2 with the symmetrical look. So I'm going to layer this time my right piece on top of the left, lining up the middle pattern pieces on top of each other, keeping it pinched together whilst I remove the clip and re-clip those in place all together. So that will be the other side, and as you can see, they're now symmetrical. Now we're ready to sew in our pinch. So grabbing my needle with my strong thread, and I've got a knot in the end. We're going to aim for 6 stitches across this bottom, 1 in the red part, 4 in the pattern part, and then our last one, our 6th one, again in the red part. So keeping this pinched tightly with my thumb and finger, I'm going to remove that first clip, and my first stitch is going to go in through this corner, making sure I catch both of these layers on this corner. So So going all the way through like that. Pulling it all the way through to the knot. So that's our first stitch. Again, keeping it pinched together, I'm going to remove my second clip. Coming back up through the bottom, this time catching this corner. Our third stitch, slightly to the right of the centre, making sure you catch all of the layers, keeping it pinched whilst I remove the next clip. Coming back up through the bottom, this time slightly to the left of the centre, so this is obviously the centre. That's our fourth stitch. Our fifth stitch, catching these corners and the bottom corners all the way through. That's our fifth stitch, and then our sixth stitch, removing that clip, coming back up through the bottom, catching that folded corner and the top two corners and pulling it all the way through. So that is what it looks like on the front side, and that is the underside. I don't know if you can see that. And then we're going to pull this thread now to form our pinch. Once you have that in there tightly, I'm keeping it pinched together with my other hand, and then I'm just going to go through, catching the last corners, and then on the second go in, before I pull it completely tight, I'm going to go through this loose loop a few times, and that will form a knot. To hold my thread in place, and then I can trim off the excess thread. So that is one side now done, and then I'm just going to pop a knot in my thread to use for the other half, and we're going to do those exact same stitches again. So now we have our two pieces sewn, ready to glue together. So I've got my hot glue gun here, and it's already warmed up, and I'm just going to place some hot glue across the middle of one half of the bow, and then join the two halves together. And then next I'm going to grab one of my 11 centimetre length pieces of 1 centimetre wide ribbon and my clip, and I'm going to line my clip. I just need to heat seal these raw ends first. Again, lining your hair clips is optional. This is just something that I like to do. And 11 centimetres is long enough to wrap one of these 45mm or 4.5 centimetre clips. So I've just half wrapped my clip on the top half like that, and then I'm going to add this now to the underside of my bow. So I apply hot glue just to the front part of the clip, not the pinch part, and pop that on the middle bottom of my hair bow, and then grabbing my other piece, which again is the same, 1 centimetre wide by 11 centimetres in length. Heat seal the raw edges, and then I'm going to use this piece to wrap my centre. Popping a little bit of glue on one end, and then popping it under the clip, central to the hair bow. And then I'm going to start wrapping my bow. On the first go round, I like to add a little bit of glue just to the top of the bow, and that will ensure that that keeps covered by the ribbon. And then I'm going to go around for the second time. You can trim off any excess if you need to. I only need to trim off a tiny little bit. That was nearly long enough. And then finishing off by sticking it under the clip. I put a little bit too much glue on there, let it seep out. So that is what we've got so far, and then I'm just going to finish it off with this lovely little piece of holly. So I'm just going to pop some hot glue on the bottom and pop that in the centre. And there you go, that is the finished hair bow. I will link everything that I used in the description below. If you've got any questions, pop them into the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications. Thanks for watching everyone. Bye!